For months, no, hell, years, I've been banging on about my favourite watch brand. Today, I finally managed to get my hands on one. Welcome back to the channel, all of you watch heroes and nerds. As always, I'm your horological Chris, and this is Awkward Horology, now voted the 99th best review channel about watches not hosted by a recognisable face on the web today. Well, today, ladies and gents, I'm as giddy as a Hollywood actor on cheat day as I have bought a watch from my favourite British watch brand ever, Farer. Now, if you followed me on the old Watch Gecko channel, you'll see that I've been harping on about Farer watches for a fair while now. My favourite British brand, this is by far, and to be honest, one of my favourite brands today, full stop. I've managed to get my grubby mitts on a Farer Worldtimer, specifically the Roche II model. I have to say, I think this watch is a perfect, more affordable alternative to the Omega Aquaterra Worldtimer. Well, not just that, but almost any Worldtimer, to be honest. I'll leave a link to Farer's website below. It's not affiliate, but I don't care that much. To be fully honest with you, Farer make some amazing models, and adding this to my collection is long overdue. So as usual, do we have a winner or do we have a binner? Well, let's find out, shall we? It's hot, international, steamy fact time for you boys. And believe me, if I were you, I'd get that special sock out that you don't want your wife to know about, because this is not just beautiful, it is a spec monster. Let's start off with the measurements today. We have 39mm in diameter, 45mm lug to lug, 11mm thickness and 20mm at the lugs. Construction is all 316L stainless steel. It has 100 meters of water resistant sapphire crystal front and back. Incredible, and I mean incredible lume. Who knows, I may even whip it out for you in a bit. And of course, through that exhibition caseback is the movement. A movement, by the way, which is the Sellita SW330-1, the Elaborate grade movement. It has 50 hours of power reserve, hacks and hand winds, and beats at 28,800 vibers per hour, making it a 4Hz movement. Now, according to Caliber Corner, this is based on the standard SW330-1, which itself is based on the ETA 2893, a traditional callers/office GMT movement. So, before I move on to my thoughts on this fine piece of horological ass, let me tell you how it works, because once you know, it's properly easy to use, even more so than a traditional GMT in my book. First position, manual winds the movement. Crazy, I know, but that's true. Second position allows you to set the inner ring when you move the crown backwards, allowing you to set time zones. Pushing the crown forward allows you to adjust the quick set date. Now, next up, using the 10 o'clock crown, you can twist the outer ring bezel with the cities on it, so the time zone align with the right time. When you've done that, you can move the main crown to the third position and you can adjust the home time. So there you go. So easy, even a politician could make it work. But technical stuff aside, what do I, as in me, think about the watch? Well, it's a pretty looking watch. I've recently become obsessed with Worldtimers and I've not found something in my price range that I considered good until I saw this. Look, GMT watches are all the rage right now, and quite rightly so. I mean, being able to look at a second time zone, and sometimes a third if you're feeling kinky, is cool and all. But this, well, some may call it obscene, I call it satisfying. Farer have been able to put so much detail into this 39mm case, none of it feels out of place or even, dare I say, busy. It has the right amount of busy. Think London Underground midweek, late morning versus the rush hour. I would even go so far as to say it looks better, or at least in a dead heat, with its much more expensive rivals like the Omega Aquaterra or the Frederique Constante. Even though I have to say, the Frederique Constante is a beautiful looking watch. These two contenders were actually on my list for a Worldtimer spot in the old Watchbox 2. I'm a big fan of the 3D applied markers with absolutely, and I'm not exaggerating here, nuclear level glowing lume. But that's not the only thing that shines here. The hands are nicely loomed, as is the inner 24 track, and the, well, I'm going to call it the city ring of the outer bezel is glowing too. It's nice, crisp and clear, and Farer have done one hell of a job here. Honestly, it's as well done as any other watch, double or even triple the price tag. Now, watch alone on a leather strap, and by the way, it's a really nice high grade leather strap, comes in at £1,495. You can also choose to get this on a rubber strap for the same price, or a mesh strap if you want to pop £20 more. But if I were you and I had the money, I would drop the extra £160 nicker on a bracelet. It's a nice solid bracelet with a butterfly clasp, plenty of half and full links to get a good fit as well. It's super comfortable on my 7¼ incher, and I had to get rid of about 5 links to get this watch to fit nicely, so big wristers, you can rejoice. Everything is also quick release too, so the only tool you need to take this watch to size is the screwdriver for the bracelet. Right now, Farer are giving each watch a unique edition number. Of course, I chose 666 for me because, well, it was free, I chose it, and I'm mentally a child who finds this stuff hilarious. Unfortunately, 69 was taken. So all in all, this watch is, well, awesome, and for the money, it's an absolute steal. The touches on this watch, from the bronzed logo crown at 3 to the sign crown at 10, the chamfered edges mixed with the brushed, almost sandblasted middle, you can tell so much thought, care and attention went into this watch, and it really, really shows. In addition, not only did I get a handwritten thank you note from the brand, I mean, try getting that from an AD. This watch comes with a 30-day return policy, free shipping, and a 5-year guarantee. And I can see why Farer have just gone from strength to strength in recent years. And now, well, they may have just added another fan to their tribe. But what do you think? What's your favourite? Is it GMT or a Worldtimer? And follow up, do you think micro and independents like Farer are on an equal footing so far as value is concerned when facing off against the big boys like Rolex and Omega? Let me know in the comments below. Right now, I'm going to have some alone time with my watch. Go away now.